Joining me now for our community profile is Brian Blair, who is the clinical director at Capabilities, as well as Dr. Michael Dorsey. He is a professor at the Institute for Behavioral Studies at Endicott College. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this morning. We're talking today about a very important program that's actually here on Cape Cod. It is a master's in education in applied behavior analysis. What is that? What is a master's in education in applied behavior analysis?
So you get a master's degree in the principles of applied behavior analysis, which are just basic principles of why people do what they do. The program that we're running right now is primarily focused on working with people with autism. So some of the coursework is based on basic behavioral coursework, but there's also, in addition, several courses in autism. So the goal is to train educators and clinicians to work with adults and children with autism.
Are you finding at Capabilities that that's a huge need here on Cape Cod for more professionals in this area?
It's a growing need, yes. Capabilities currently doesn't serve that many adults with autism, but it's definitely a growing population that we continue to see more and more referrals from children's services for the need for professionals that can really practice the ABA skills.
And this is great because this is, you're offering the courses actually here. Where are the courses offered?
The courses are offered at the Capability office on Cape Cod. So it's something that we're doing that we think is really unusual down here, because there really are very few, if any, other graduate programs being offered face-to-face on the Cape. Everybody else that wants to get a graduate degree has to basically either go across the bridge or take it online.
Yeah, which is really important for a lot of people who, some may be trying to get their education, continue their education while working full-time during their jobs. So are these classes offered in the evening and convenient hours for those who may be trying to balance that work and expanding their education?
Yeah, so all the courses are offered Monday through Thursday. 4 to 8 p.m. are kind of the times that we offer them right now. So it's really, really convenient. We found really good feedback. It can be a little tough on Cape during the summer months to get around, but we've been able to be pretty flexible with the course offerings and the schedule, so it's been pretty effective.
And how long is the program? So if you signed up for the program, I don't know, are you beginning in September?
It takes a little over a year, about 15 months to finish the program. It's 36 credits. That includes 2 semesters, 6 credits of intensive practicum work, where you're actually going out and getting supervised experience in the field. And you get 3 electives. Most people are taking electives in area courses that have to do with autism, but you could also do your electives in organizational behavior management, special education, any number of other areas that we offer through Endicott College.
Now, what are the prerequisites to apply for the program? What do you need to have before you get in and start going?
You need a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree in psychology, education are certainly preferable, but we have people come in with bachelor's degrees in business and all sorts of other areas, and they do just fine.
Now, once someone takes this program and comes out with a master's in education in applied behavior analysis, what can they do with that degree?
Oh, they can do all sorts of things. Applied behavior analysis is a very, very broad, diverse field. Much like medicine or psychology, there are people out there that are working with business and industry and consulting with them to make their organizations more efficient. There are people that work in regular public school education classrooms to help with learning and making the learning more effective. There are people that work in medicine and hospitals. So there are all sorts of places that you can use those skills. As it turns out, though, in our field, about 85% of all the people that graduate with a master's in ABA go into the field to work with kids with autism. It's such a growing need. There are kids being born every single day. The percentage of kids being born with autism is increasing every year. And ABA has been found to be one of the most effective approaches to helping those kids live as much of a normal life as they possibly can.
Wonderful. It seems to me that this is something that Capabilities and organizations like yours are really trying to work really hard at helping some of these individuals. Do you have staff that if you go through this program, do you have positions that would become available?
So the agency is currently evolving so that we can serve more and more diverse populations, and that is something that the executive director is actively looking at, trying to incorporate the students that are currently in the current cohort who are also employees at Capabilities, trying to figure out ways to not only assist with their practicum, which is their supervised field work in the coming months, but also after they get the degree and the license, will there be positions? And there most likely will be. It's hard to forecast, and funding sources are challenging to kind of predict, but that is the goal, to have positions here on Cape for people that are licensed behavior analysts.
The interesting thing, though, is that the majority of the people that are in the first cohort do not work for Capabilities.
Right.
They work for other human service agencies on Cape. 2 of them actually commute down from Plymouth Public Schools to take these courses. So it's,
which is probably more convenient for them. Instead of going to Boston,
right,
they're heading to Cape Cod, which is probably much closer and more convenient, less fees for parking and other things.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and the commute's not too bad, but there really aren't that many other offerings. There's some north, there's some in Boston, but yeah, it's really convenient for them.
Now, what made you guys want to team up together? I know it happened, a year or 2 ago that you started conversations?
Yeah, so, Mike can speak to a little bit of the history, but I started as a clinical director in November, and I'm also, I've been an adjunct faculty at Endicott for a couple of years. I'm in the PhD program, so it seemed like a kind of a perfect natural fit for me as a clinical director, but also somebody that could teach the coursework and help run the program in Hyannis.
Endicott actually has partner sites all around Boston. There are about 9 of them now. And we had, no site on Cape Cod, and we've always thought that this was just a place that needed this sort of education down here. And we thought, once we got to know Brian and got to know Capabilities, we just thought this was a perfect marriage for Endicott and Capabilities to come together.
Wonderful. If someone's watching right now and saying, this is really something that I think I could benefit from, I want to expand my education, I didn't know there was an opportunity like this one on Cape Cod, where can they go to find information, and how quickly can they apply? Is there a deadline to apply for the program?
Well, that's a number of questions.
Yes.
First of all, both on the Capabilities website and the Endicott College Van Loan School website is information about being able to apply and what the requirements are to apply. They're very simple. In order to just get in and get started, it takes about 10 minutes on the computer to fill out a very basic application, pay what I think is a $50 application fee, and you can take 2 courses right there. You're all set. You can start your first semester. During the first semester, you need to get letters of recommendation. You need to take either the Miller's Analogy or graduate record exam. You need to do a few other things, not a lot, to get your final acceptance into the program.
But interesting that you can start and begin that process without having to check off some of those boxes.
Nope, absolutely.
Nice, easy way to get into the program.
Get in, make sure it's something you want, make sure it's a good fit for you. We're also, not to sound like a salesman, but financially we're a very reasonably priced program. It's about $1,400 per course.
Wow.
Which is about what some of the other schools charge per credit hour.
Yeah. So
it's a very reasonable program, and the likelihood of employment walking out of our program. The program, we haven't mentioned it yet, but the program sets you up to be able to sit for what's called the Board Certified Behavior Analyst certification, and now to become a licensed behavior analyst in Massachusetts. So it meets those standards for you to take that exam, become licensed in the Commonwealth, and employment is almost certain. Pay scales are good. People are helping other people and making a decent living doing it at the same time.
So important.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by, telling us all about this amazing program that we can attend right in our backyards. Really appreciate it. Our guests this morning, we had Brian Blair, of course, the Clinical Director for Capabilities, as well as Dr. Michael Dorsey. He's a professor at the Institute for Behavioral Studies at Endicott College.